Toxic partisanship, left versus right, us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
All right, welcome everyone to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here live on WYSL until 1 p.m. which means that you can comment online. Shout out down the line to our friends over at WACK out in Newark and our friends listening on all of the online channels. We got the Free Solution YouTube page, Free Solution Facebook page, the Kevin Wilson pages, and all the Tim O'Connor pages too, because we have Tim O'Connor on the line, right?
I am
Tim
here once again.
Oh, thank goodness.
Broadcasting from my 2012 Ford Taurus customized broadcast booth, which I'm slowly making improvements to. And I'm so glad that you and I get together on Fridays. I have an absolute blast doing this, Kevin.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you could be here. Yeah, eventually you're going to turn this Taurus. You're going to get some acoustic panels up in there, like a professional mic rig, and then like a 5G hotspot and all this stuff.
I'll need help with that. I'm going to have to, I guess I'll have to talk to my 15-year-old, who I've been asking for stock advice, by the way. The kid's absolutely, he's got it all figured out. So I'm sure that he'll be able to help me turn this into an even better broadcast booth.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I think you can do it. I think you can pull it off. And then you just have a mobile studio, and then we just got to get the video rig in there too. And then, then we'll be all set.
Well, I do look good on video, but guys, I'm working today, so I'm not sure how the video would come across. Occasionally when I work, I'm a hands-on guy. I end up pretty dirty, but it would be kind of interesting to present that to the audience, right?
There you go. Yeah, listen, there ain't no shame in getting a little dirty when you work. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, compared to me, you guys can't tell. I just sweat my butt off in the attic, doing digital marketing stuff. That's not exactly glamorous. Just do not move all day.
It sounds glamorous. Digital marketing sounds glamorous. Has a glamour ring to it, man.
Yeah, I try to make it look as cool as possible. I don't know how I pull it up, but the point is, we're gonna get that full setup for you, and we'll make sure we can keep rocking and rolling on Fridays, because of course we have plenty of stuff to talk about. It's been a busy week, lots of huge monumental events going on, both at the state level and the national and international level. I guess, Tim, where do you want to start with some of this stuff? I mean, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, yesterday I did a lot of ranting and explaining the timeline behind Afghanistan, but I got to a point where I got kind of an interesting take. All as it took, how many people live in Afghanistan? Do you know? It's millions, right? Like 8, 10, 12 million people.
I don't know offhand. It's I thought it was a little bit less than that, but maybe not.
All right. So all that it took, guys, and this is an amazing tribute to the American military. All it took was 2,500 American military personnel to keep the Taliban at bay. For at least the last 3 or 4 years, we've had a low amount of troop numbers for a long time. So I think that is a real testament to and guys, yesterday I explained I'm anti-war, I'm anti-occupation, I'm anti-imperialism, but I'm pro-effectiveness, and 2,500 people keeping the entire Taliban at bay in Afghanistan is actually kind of epic and a real testament to how effective we are and we can be. So regardless of the end result here, the pullout, I think our military guys deserve a shout out. Guys and girls deserve a shout out for that, No,
of course. And I know that they're over there trying to do the best they can in most situations. They're just trying to help the people over there. And I mean, there were, in the last couple of years, the Afghan army was taking a lot more of the brunt of the casualties as they, kind of prepared to hold their country, which did not, stay. They weren't able to hold it as soon as it kind of became official that the U.S. military was pulling out.
Yeah. So one of the things I wrestle with all the time is the most effective way to spread liberty. Okay, because honestly, that was our goal in Afghanistan, was to spread a notion of human rights, individual rights, and a governing structure that would be considered free from religious oppression. So we were successful in offering the people of Afghanistan that for a number of years, regardless of our failures, regardless of our ramp up, build down, surges, the lies that our elected, centralized power told us about how we were either being successful or not being successful. Regardless of all those things, how do we spread liberty? Because obviously I think doing it at the point of a gun doesn't work, not long term anyway. It only works temporary.
No, it's you have to be able to change culture, and a lot of times it's something that like societies have to come to on their own. I mean, like they can come to it through like influence, right? Like the spread of the internet, spread of books and ideas that can bring liberty into different types of cultures, different types of societies, and in this case, it's easy to get, for some people, to get radicalized when they have had decade after decade of war and death and destruction around them, followed by in some cases the U.S. government backing religious extremists in order to stick it to the Soviets. And this is
we've backed religious extremists, we've backed authoritarian dictators, all of those things, and then we've even tried nation building and installing, institutionalizing democratic institutions, and so I think you're pointing out and agreeing that trying to force people to these decisions, force these people to individual rights and liberty is almost impossible. It's almost like if that change doesn't come from within, how do we impose that change? But we know that really we can't. So the free solution, the question, and I point at one of the things that Larry Sharpe is really fond of saying, is that suck it up and trade with these countries. That capitalism and free trade and human interaction on the micro level, where Kevin and Tim get together and do a radio show, where Kevin does digital marketing and Tim sells construction stuff, like that's how we can change the world. That's the way to do it. What do you think? Have I lost my mind? Am I just too optimistic? I don't know.
No, it's a way to, again, when you don't have violent governments that are preventing that type of stuff from happening, from free exchange, wealth building, the exchange of ideas. When you have a place where that can happen, that's great. And again, Afghanistan's a complicated place. I actually looked at the population; it's higher than I thought. Is 38 million people, which is made up of various different cultures, with several different languages that are spoken across the country. It's a complicated place, and there's a lot of, because of where it is and the cultures that exist there, it's been a center of conflict for, again, hundreds of years. And we'll see long term what ends up happening in terms of some areas of the country able to hold off and the Taliban and establish a little nugget of freedom there. That would be great. But
do you think the Taliban is going to stick to their peace agreement that they signed with Donald Trump? They promised not to fund terrorism. They promised not to participate in terrorism. That was a prerequisite for signing I'm using air quotes, guys, in my Ford Taurus broadcast booth, the peace agreement that was signed. Are they going to hold up their end?
No, not at all. They broke that like immediately.
Yeah, religious fundamentalists don't hold to any agreement. I think that's something that we've also seen throughout our lives, throughout history, is a problem with religious fundamentalism. And I think Afghanistan exemplifies it.
No, a huge issue with that stuff. And then, again, I think like at this point, the best thing, a lot of what the United States can do is to help get the people out who want to, again, embrace free enterprise, who want to make a better life for themselves. Let them come out, let them get them over here, especially the folks who work with us, and folks listening today. If you didn't catch my Wednesday interview with Ellen Smith from Keeping Our Promise, like check that out. Like some of the stories of the families that they've helped in the situation over there, the bureaucratic mess that is not just the Biden administration. It's kind of spanning both parties, multiple administrations, but 14 years to get a visa approved is absolutely insane and infuriating. Like why would it take that long?
I'm always amazed by those visa applications, especially. And guys, this is really depressing if we don't actually put our mind and heart and use a little bit of empathy here. There were people there that participated with the United States' desire to nation build in Afghanistan. And those people are at risk. And those are the people that can't get visas to get out of that country. And that they have to actually, my understanding is they have to get to another country before they can apply for a visa to come to the United States. So they have to sneak out of Afghanistan somehow and then try to immigrate, however you want to say it. I don't care, to get to the United States. It's sad, and use a little empathy out there for these people. They were backing our play. We gave them jobs. We tried to help them build the structures. They did things, and now they're at risk. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Folks trying to do the right thing, and it's terrible to see people in danger, people likely to be killed in that situation. And had Biden just try to get to another country. Oh, good luck doing that. Not super easy right now. Get to another country, maybe wait 14 years there, and then maybe you'll be able to go to the United States. All right, thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. We'll be back, me and Tim O'Connor, in just a few minutes. Talk to you soon.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
The Finger Lakes Castle team is in its 7th decade of factory direct service to the service professional. From cleaning the ins and outs of your vehicle to keeping you on the road, Castle's got you covered. Castle makes streak-proof glass cleaner, FDA-registered sanitizers, and EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectants. Remember, when you need to keep it clean, use what the pros use. Castle. Accept no substitutes.
Castle keeps it clean.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you for being here, everyone. We're live in WYSL until 1 p.m. No phone calls today because we have Tim O'Connor on the phone, but you can leave your comments online. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks again for being here. We have a comment from Andrew Hamill says, we left our Humvees, equipment, and tanks over there, and now the Taliban has them. Yeah, no, that's a huge part about billions of dollars in equipment, I'm sure. I don't know the exact number, but my goodness, the amount of waste. Like, why couldn't we get all that stuff out of there at least so they couldn't use that to hurt the people that we were defending for 20 years?
What would they do with it? They'd give it to our local police departments. And so there's, the militarization of our local police departments in a way is a valid concern that everyone should take a look at, So
or sabotage it. I mean, I don't care. Like, I mean, you'd hate to see that too, but like, better than leaving it for people to just take
and use to enforce their religious extremism on innocent people. That's the part that gets me about Afghanistan. That's the part about and I mentioned this yesterday. That's the part about the neocon argument that it's persuasive to me that there are people behind these religious communistic in China. There's people behind the communist regime who just want to live their lives, raise their families, perhaps participate in growing their success, and how do we, I get caught up in this part, that part of the argument. Like, how do we offer those people something better?
Yeah. It's the same, again, those types of folks are everywhere. That's most of us here in the U.S. We don't want to, deal with whatever nonsense our government at the state and national level is doing at any point in time. We just want to live our lives, raise our families, and like be successful, right? And that's most of the people in these other countries too. In Afghanistan, in China, and Russia, in all over the world. It doesn't matter where. Most people are just trying to live their lives and do their thing and get along. And unfortunately, evil, violent people make that impossible. And it's a matter of, what do we do about that? And again, I think both of us are really non-interventionists. We want people to be able to, succeed. But oftentimes the United States getting involved in these conflicts and picking a side in a civil war isn't the path to peace.
It is not. And it's not. Look at the people that are going to have to flee Afghanistan or face the wrath of a fundamentalist religious regime. I just feel awful for those people. I can't. And guys, I know I'm being repetitive. I apologize, but I think that this part of the story does not get told often enough, regularly enough. When the mainstream media wants to say, "Oh, Biden messed this up," or then the other channel wants to say, "Oh, Trump is the one that made the bad decision," and then somebody wants to show that they know more about Afghanistan, and they say, well, actually, it was George Bush and Barack Obama, and neither one of those two knew what they were doing. Like, when we play that game, what we're missing is the real human cost on the ground, the boots on the ground, the people building their houses. That's what we miss. So just that this is a free solution, man. Use some empathy for those people and see what we can do. See what we can come up with.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'd be nice. Again, I think I'd said this both Monday and Wednesday too. I want to like spend the whole hour like blaming everyone. Look, I'm mad at politicians. Like we always rail against politicians, right? But like, okay, what do we do next, right? Like some of the things we could do is I think that the Defense Department was going to charge Americans $2,000 to get out of Afghanistan right now. U.S. citizens.
Oh my God!
What? Like, no, just get them out. Just stop.
Get them out. You guys.
What's wrong with you guys? This
thing. Yeah.
Or there's and this one, I'm not 100% on this, but like I read it on a news source that seems to be fairly reliable. They said that the Afghanistan army that was still like there, who hadn't defected yet, who are trying to help defend the civilian airport to get people out.
Yeah.
Apparently the U.S. government told them, like, when someone asked, like, well, are they going to be able to get out after you guys make the final decision to pull the plug? And they're like, well, they can apply for a visa.
Oh,
what? No, just get them out. Just get them and their families out. Why? Why would you no, don't leave them there to, face who knows what consequences. Just get them out of there. Get them to Guam or something, like, at least. So
yeah, the world is run by bureaucrats, right? Like, okay, you're sitting there defending a civilian airport, so Americans and other people at high risk can leave, but you can apply for a visa, and we'll try to expedite it for you. Like, imagine being the person who has to say that to those people. What does that person even have a soul? Like, does their soul exist? So that must be really, really, really challenging. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, like you just so caught up in the bureaucracy. Well, we got to follow a process, whatever. Again, get them to a safe position first. Like, my goodness, are you such a slave to bureaucracy that you can't like help someone in immediate need? I mean, again, that's a huge problem with government all over. It's like, oh, well, you got to fill out the right paperwork, and then we'll get back to you in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, like everybody knows, like this is like the DMV on steroids at the federal international level when they say, well, you're, protecting a lot of people, protecting an airport. And if you fill out form 2740, perhaps we can allow you to leave that situation and we'll help you get to Guam or the United States or something. Like it's an amazing bureaucratic misfire. So it's like DMV on steroids.
So actually, it's funny. In the Wednesday interview, the person I was interviewing was talking about how like one of the folks who came over here actually really appreciated American DMVs because like, well, it doesn't take as long and you don't have to bribe anyone and like you don't get special privileges if you're like someone well connected. So like at least there's that. I'm like, wow, I've never heard anyone say that like they appreciate the DMV before. So well, I guess that's a perspective.
I managed to catch that part of the show and it like made me laugh so hard, but it was an ironic kind of, and again, you guys, I challenge you to be empathetic. An empathetic laugh, like that is amazing. So America, as bad as the bureaucracy at the DMV is actually better than anything that Afghanistan had to offer.
Could be worse.
It could be so much worse. And guys, I'm not sure we're not getting worse. With the bureaucracy seems to be in charge, larger and in charger every single day in the United States. So I'm not sure that we're not going to get there where we're going to have to bribe officials for a driver's license or whatever. But let's keep our fingers crossed.
No, we'll just we'll keep talking about it on this show, and hopefully, some people realize the problems going on when we point out specific stuff with corruption and bureaucracy, literally like threatening lives, and hopefully someone acts on that. Yeah, that's what we gotta do. We'll just keep pushing that, Tim.
We have a town in Otsego County that has about 500 people. They've grabbed some grant money to put up supervisory cameras on a local garbage area, okay, so that they know who's not recycling properly and who is recycling properly. I'm telling you, the bureaucracy is going crazy in our own country. Like, let's be perfectly honest. So when you have video cameras on garbage cans so that they know who to go talk to about recycling, we're not heading down the right road, man. And let's be perfectly honest. We're not moving towards a freer society.
And Tim, it's even more like Kafkaesque about that is that like most of that recycled stuff is probably just going to sit in a warehouse or landfill for a while because China isn't buying it anymore. So you're going to put all this work to like do it properly and they're going to check up on you and then nothing's going to happen with it, which is.
Oh my God. No, I know. I don't know if some of you guys have followed some of the shows I've done. Rich Patel and I did a show with Colin Graybo from the Cato Institute. And Rich has been on the show as my guest, and Colin is a prolific advocate against the Jones Act. And one of the reasons why we can't move big, huge piles of recyclable garbage is because we can't ship it on barges unless it's a regulatory quagmire. Okay, so we can't ship it on barges unless they're American flagged, American owned, American manned, and American built. So imagine that.
It's ridiculous. All right. So thanks again, folks, for joining us here on A Free Solution. We're going to be back in just a few minutes.
Fly the flag, stand for freedom.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll be looking for partly to mostly cloudy skies. Maybe a brief passing shower, rumble of thunder, kind of muggy in the upper 60s on Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid. Most of the day will be dry, but there will be a slight chance for a pop-up shower or storm in the afternoon. Temps in the mid-80s. Same setup for Sunday. Partly to mostly cloudy. Chance of an afternoon storm in the 80s. I'm Rich Cordelia, WYSL.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
In July, Centerville, Texas became the 30th city in the state to pass an ordinance banning abortion, including chemical abortion, making it a crime for anyone to possess or distribute drugs intended for pregnancy termination. This chemical distinction is important for a small politically conservative town where such an ordinance arguably makes no material impact, being that there is not a significant market for abortion. However, the impact of such an ordinance becomes much more tangible as mail order, telemed, in-home, and chemical abortion fast becomes the norm. A month earlier, on June 1st, the larger city of Lubbock instituted a similar ordinance with more immediate ramifications to the abortion industry as abortion giant Planned Parenthood was forced to stop, saying they will resume when, quote, legally permissible. Is Texas reminding Americans that national politics don't have to dictate local policies? This RealAbortionNews.com update is sponsored by Compass Care.
Summertime means a world of summer fun with a little help from Victor Chevrolet. Pursue the possibilities of summer in your 2021 Equinox all-wheel drive LS. Lease it for just $249.95 per month for 39 months. Or enjoy the versatility of the tough and roomy 2021 Trailblazer LS front-wheel drive. Lease for only $159.95 a month for 39 months. You could haul plenty of people and cargo in your 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT double cab pickup. Lease for just $379 a month for 39 months. All these deals include all applicable factory rebates, incentives, and discounts. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents for each additional mile. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment, tax, acquisition, bank, and DMV fees due at signing for all leases. Lessee responsible for repair and maintenance. Security deposit is waived. Must have existing lease and household. Tier 1 credit approval required. All deals end August 31st, 2021. Don't forget, Victor Chevrolet needs your trade. Find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor. Visit victorchevrolet.com.
Geneseo Hardware and Rental, Route 20A in Geneseo, is Livingston County's most complete rental center. Geneseo Hardware and Rental has a wide selection of equipment rental items for all your project needs. Over 6,000 square feet with a large selection of plumbing, electrical, home and garden, and much more. Geneseo Hardware offers Valspar paint, plus screen and window repair. Route 20A next to Wegmans Plaza. Visit Geneseo-rental.com.
Geneseo Hardware and Rental has your pool and spa needs.
Summer's at its best at Stokey Farm Sunflower Experience. Come and enjoy a sea of blooms from the palest of yellow to the deepest of reds. Get your camera ready for magical Instagram-worthy images that will stun your friends. Animals, activities, hay rides, and more. Stop out on one of the twilight nights for live music. Sunflowers at Stokey Farms. StokeyFarms.com for dates and details.
Enjoy a chicken barbecue this Saturday from 12 till 7.
Looking for a beautiful Brockport home that's close to everything? The Meadows Apartments in Brockport are just minutes from the Central School and SUNY Brockport campuses. Convenient to Lake Ontario, shopping, parks, and restaurants. Choose from 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in our village community with many amenities. The Meadows Apartment community in Brockport features a swimming pool and convenient in-building laundry centers. Come take an apartment tour and meet our friendly and knowledgeable on-site staff on Ellis Drive in Brockport, or visit themeadowsny.com to learn more.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today, joined by Tim O'Connor, also hosting today on this Friday. Again, we're live here on WYSL. No phone calls today because Tim is on the line, but you can comment online wherever this is streaming. The Free Solution Facebook page, Free Solution YouTube channel, any of the Kevin Wilson pages, any of the Tim O'Connor pages, wherever you're listening today. Thank you for being here. And if you're listening a little bit later over on WACK out in New York, thank you for being here too. Appreciate y'all. All right. So I talked a bit about Afghanistan. I've been talking about Afghanistan all week. Let's pivot to another subject. Tim, well, actually, do you have anything else left to say? Or should we move on to the Cuomo CDC stuff?
Let's talk about Cuomo, and let's talk about Hochul, and let's talk about the mask mandates and authoritarian bureaucratic maneuvering right in our own state. How's that sound?
Go for it. All right, kick us off, Tim. What are we doing?
All right, so look, here's where we're at. And let's get into, we can brush on the vaccines and stuff like that with this topic. The issue of forcing children to wear masks in school to prevent the spread of COVID does not, and maybe you're going to take a different position than me, but does not make sense, in my opinion, but also based on an examination of what I would call data and science and real discussion about how COVID spreads and who's at risk from COVID. I think that we've turned this COVID disaster, the government response to COVID has been weird, dystopian, strange. And we're punishing people that aren't really at high risk for complications from COVID. And we're forcing them to live in fear of getting COVID and spreading COVID. What do you think about that? I got to ask you, am I off base with that kind of thinking?
I mean, I certainly understand where you're coming from. I always like to ask this question to folks though, who take positions similar to yours. Is there any conditions under which you think it would be appropriate for schools to require masks? Like, not like hypothetically, not COVID, like, but maybe like a flu that affects children more. Do you think that there's appropriate conditions where it would make sense for schools to require masks?
Yeah, but I think that the statistics and data analysis would tell us when that was, right? Like, and so it's an interesting question. I don't feel a conundrum though. I feel like, yeah, sure, but we need real science, and I'm not sure that when it comes to COVID, we're getting real science. Like, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Just, do you think your body has antibodies from your polio vaccine that you received when you were 5 years old? If there was a test for polio antibodies, would you have them in your system right now?
Probably. I mean, I know your body like makes them though. There's like memory cells that, if you run into polio, that's the idea.
Correct. So your body develops an immunity that isn't reliant. And this is science, guys. With all due respect, you can read it anywhere. Your body develops immunities and develops a memory of how to react to a virus. Okay, so I think that you would not have polio antibodies from the vaccine you received when you were 5 years old, but your body still remembers how to deal with the polio virus. It still exists out there. So, and maybe I'm wrong, right? So, like, there's leaps that I will take when I'm looking at data that may or may not be true. And if it's not true, that's fine. I'd love to hear from people about that. So I'm saying your body most likely does not have antibodies. When your body learns to produce antibodies to COVID, they go away within 3 months. But there's still the T cell memory in your body that still offers a defense to COVID. So When we get into this vaccine, no vaccine, natural immunity, antibody discussion, I think that right now there's a basic report saying that once you don't have antibodies to COVID, you're no longer immune to COVID. I do not believe that that is based in science. I believe that that is political science. What do you think about that?
I kind of see where you're going with that one. And again, I kind of agree with that. Like it's politicians saying that type of stuff, saying that like the scientists are like, well, it's a lot more complicated than that. and like,
Right.
that's where we get to this debate about the like the third booster shot thing. A lot of scientists are like, I don't know that we actually need this for most people. Like their bodies are, you know, still able to protect you even from the Delta variant for COVID. So like, why would we need a third one? So why did the Biden administration push ahead with this? And does it create more doubt about the vaccine? And does it, they got ahead of the science on this one. And that's, again, it creates more mistrust among everyone
I do think, the mistrust, and I apologize for interrupting, Kevin. I know you're I think that the mistrust based on the way it feels like force and feels like bribery and it feels like overly persuasive attempts, and then there's always the threats and the cajoling coming from the government about a vaccine. I think that in and of itself is creating and causing vaccine hesitancy. Like it people rightfully don't trust the government for lots of reasons. So when we transfer that distrust to something that may be very important, a vaccine for a virus that causes a lot of people problems, the government's behavior, first of all, it's not universal, but it's so emotional. It's so like disrespectful of, well, religious rights, individual decision-making, people's individual discussions with their doctors. So when we get there, when we're here with this problem with the vaccine, where do we go after that? Like, how do we straighten this out? And like you're saying, we're ahead of the science on the third booster shot. I agree with that. I think that, you know, again, how do we change the government to behave better? And how do we make this less of a battle? And how do we change it from the duopolistic, my side, your side? It's now a vaccine may in fact be good for you. The data showing certain things about the vaccine, that people seem to be at lower risk for serious reactions to COVID. So, and maybe seems isn't the right word. I don't know. Would you challenge me on the use of the word seems there?
I mean, that's so what Wikipedia used to call that weasel word, but whatever. I was gonna fight you on it.
All right. Seems is a weasel word, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. In a way, it is in this situation, but I think that the broader issue of how the government is handling the rollout of the vaccine and the threat and the, like in New York City, the mandate, like you can't eat dinner in a restaurant unless you present your vaccine passport. I'm not comfortable with that sort of behavior, and I do not think that increases people's likelihood to take a vaccine. That may in fact be beneficial to them.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think it ends up entrenching people more and kind of putting people in the mindset that like, oh, look, like now that they're forcing me to do that, like that's, you know, it puts you in the mindset that you've got to fight this now. That's what a lot of people think. And again, I'm very pro-vaccine. I've told people that like, really, you should do that. It's good for you. Like the evidence suggests that not only are you less likely to get hospitalized and die, but also you're less likely to get sick. Although if you do get sick and you have vaccine, you can still spread it. That's what the evidence suggests, not the misrepresentation that you're more likely to spread COVID with the vaccine. That's nonsense. But yeah,
I get that you're splitting the hair there, and I think not splitting a hair. I think that you're making an important point that you can still get it and spread it, but right.
It's way less likely that you will, though. Yeah,
it is less likely that you will. So let's talk about natural immunity, right? Having had COVID and recovering from it, is that as good as a vaccine? And again, you and I have to talk about this as in our opinion because we're not actually scientists. But I actually do believe, and I respect that you and I are probably more read more well-read on the subject, more able to analyze the data on the subject than average people who are reacting emotionally. So,
we're trying to like make sure we're being informed for this show, right? And again, there's interesting studies on this too. So like it is slightly better, but like if you have had COVID before, you're pretty well protected. Just maybe the vaccines are slightly better because it makes your body identify a certain protein that is common to more different types of variants, and you don't really know if you get COVID, like what thing your body's going to identify to like protect it. And variants kind of mess with that, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, there's a question too. It's like, okay, if you had COVID and you don't want the vaccine or whatever, like should the vaccine passes at private businesses or mandated by government apply to you? And that's an unresolved question. Again, I don't think that the government should ever require vaccine passes. I think that's a violation of bodily autonomy, but like it is a question in front of us right now.
Yeah, it is the quintessential question of our time, for sure, or at least of this time. So I'm a big fan of, natural immunity, and people that seem to be conflating the issue and saying, well, even though you've had COVID, you should still get the vaccine. I don't think that the evidence and the data suggest that it's necessary at this time to get that vaccine. What do you think there? I think
we're running out of time. That's what I think, Tim. All right. Thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. When we come back, maybe we'll talk about this some more, but we're definitely going to do Fake News Friday, though. That's for sure. We got some fake news in here, and we're going to talk about that. All right. Thanks again for joining us here on Free Solution. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
a free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. It's Fake News Friday. Kevin Wilson here today, joined by Tim O'Connor. You're still live on WSL until 1 p.m. So leave your comments online. We got some fake news items for you. I'm gonna go first because I think you might have one along the same thing, but I'm gonna kind of keep along the same theme of governments reassuring us and being totally trustworthy and great in their delivery of COVID messaging. Headline is: New Delta variant as contagious as chickenpox. Is that real news or fake news, Tim?
Oh boy. Well, again, we got to analyze our news world. I am going to say that I'm gonna play the fence on this one, Kevin. I hope you don't mind, but that is fake news. But it's a real news headline.
Yeah, you are exactly right. It is fake news. It's a real news headline, though, put out by the CDC, who said that the Delta variant was as contagious as chickenpox, which is very, very, very infectious. But turns out, a quote from I think it's like an NPR article or something. It says, the RO values for Delta were preliminary and calculated from data taken from rather small sample size. A federal official told NPR the value for chickenpox and other ROs in slideshow came from a graphic from the New York Times, which wasn't completely accurate. So the CDC copied fake news from the New York Times and then put it out as real news to sow fear and confusion. So thank you, CDC, for again proving why we should abolish you.
Yeah, that circular firing squad of the government and the mainstream media using each other as sources when they're in fact both wrong and they end up embarrassing themselves. But guess what? Not embarrassing themselves enough, in my opinion.
I know. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. Like we should privatize the CDC. That's where I'm at. So let's just do that, and maybe they'll do better. And if we don't like what that person said, we can go to other organizations, and they cannot take our taxpayer money.
Personally, that makes sense to me. We deal with specifications and rating agencies when we're buying the equipment that we use in my line of work. Those are all private agencies. They do get certifications from the government, but that seems to work. Okay, so if you buy something that's certified ISO 9002, you know that part is going to fit and it's going to do the job that it says it's going to do. That is a private, freer solution. They do some certifications with the government, but you pay money and your product gets certified by a private agency, and it has real value. In other words, it works. So I got a fake news thing for you, but I can't remember the specific headline, but the headline goes something like this. Carnegie Mellon, a reasonably well-respected institution, did a study and found that the most vaccine hesitant people, and this is based on education level, okay, the most reticent vaccine hesitant people are people who have done some high school or some college, like an associate's degree to a master's degree. In that range, those people, if they have decided not to get the vaccine, there's nothing you can do to change their mind. Is that real news or is that fake news?
I think it's probably going to be fake news. And because I think I know what study you're talking about. So I think I've kind of seen this, but go ahead. Is it fake? Is it real?
Yeah, no, I totally made that up. All right. It's actually the opposite. Okay. If we go out to the extremes of education levels, which we would call your PhDs and your Juris Doctorates, okay, where they spend more than a master's degree going to school and less than an associate's degree down to, not even graduating from high school. Those are the groups. And guys, there's an important point that I'm going to make at the end of this. Those are the groups that if they've decided not to take the vaccine, you are not going to be able to change their mind. And that includes, and especially includes, PhDs, which means healthcare doctors and doctors of philosophy and science are the one, if they've decided for whatever reason that they've decided to not take the vaccine, you are not going to change their mind at this point. Free donuts, free beer, free hot dogs, free sausage, $500, nothing is going to change their mind. So that presents a conundrum for the healthcare industry because there are doctors who are refusing to get vaccinated. And again, they're not saying necessarily why. And I'm not trying to intimate or get you to infer a reason, but there are doctors that are not going to take the vaccine. If they are no longer able to practice medicine because of a healthcare mandate to get the vaccine, a la Andrew Cuomo in New York State, what are those people going to do? Where are they going to go?
Probably have their own health clinics.
That would be pretty cool. I'll give a shout out to Dr. Mark Moretto again. Like, he says that the system's unsustainable. So that would be great. That would be a great solution if they decide to start opening their own healthcare competitive market clinics, right? But I don't know. I think they leave the state and go someplace else.
Yeah, maybe.
And
I mean, like there's a lot of hospital systems, even outside of state mandates, that are requiring their staff to have vaccines. And I think it's like 85% in the Rochester system. Well, at least the University of Rochester system got vaccinated. But yeah, for the other 15% of doctors, nurses, and other, hospital staff, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them if they just get the vaccine, or if they leave, or if there's going to be lawsuits. Well, there are going to be lawsuits. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I would suspect that some of them will want to keep their job enough to get the vaccine, but some of them will, in fact, leave. And I think that will contribute to what I see as an expensive, overburdened, already problematic healthcare system in New York State. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yes, the healthcare system is perfect. It's great. No problems at all. No issues with bureaucracy and overcharging and all that stuff.
Yeah, the administrative costs have nothing to do with how much your insurance bill is, guys. It's just, we need those. That paperwork is free. It doesn't matter that there's 15 people backing up 2 doctors in your local, physician primary care clinic. That doesn't add any expense to medical care. It's all necessary. Every single piece of paper they file and shuffle back and forth, and every single keystroke they punch into a computer, all of it's necessary. I mean, not sure why, but it's necessary. Absolutely, to keep the insurance companies happy, I guess. I don't
to keep people employed, Tim. At this point, it's just to make sure people
jobs
have jobs.
program.
Job security, jobs program. Do you want to fire people? Tim, do you hate jobs? Why?
Do you hate jobs? Do you hate people having good jobs, good paying jobs? No, I don't. I really don't. But I do see where sometimes make work by insurance and the government and these big institutions doesn't really serve efficiency, let's call it. And I'm not necessarily an efficiency expert, but I think efficiency in healthcare delivery is important.
Yeah, absent a bunch of mandates, there might be a better way. That's all we're saying. Maybe there's a better way to do it. Whoa, Dan. All right. So we're out of time for today, folks. Tim, thanks for calling in from your car.
My pleasure, brother.
All right, and I'll be back on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.